And a merry good afternoon to all of you fall lovers. Hey there, Deb, are you there?
Yes, hi Sue. Happy Thursday afternoon.
Woohoo! In Florida just checked in. Hey, Sharon. We got
Yeah,
lots of people. She's talking about she's having a nice day. I'm happy for you, Sharon. You hear the bitterness in my voice? I couldn't go out and trim my roses. I love to trim roses and it was just icky cold. 33, just above freezing. Not a good time to
hmm
cut roses.
No, not at all.
So let's get started. What are we going to do today?
We're going to learn to be happy with ourselves. Happy to be me.
Yes, this is in response to several people who are enjoying our personal, peaceful growth calendar and
Mhm.
affirmations. And one lady wrote in and said, I am happy to be me. That's the affirmation my son says all day long. And she goes, I caught it. And I just thought that was so cute. She thought of it as infectious.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Yes. And here is one person's summary of to be happy, you must let go of what's gone yesterday, be
hmm
grateful for what remains, and look forward to what's coming next.
How true is that? My goodness.
Yes.
I, I have a past, but I don't live there anymore.
Right
That's
on. These
wonderful.
are all major clues for you guys
That's
so
right.
that you can remember happy. You've always had happy. We're asking you to be happy with you and stop the buzz. The buzz is the social media, the buzz is the advertising, the commercials, the TV, the peer groups that try to tell you you're not perfect.
Yeah, and it's also about forgetting about things that happened 20, 30, or 40 years ago and stop reliving that and replaying it. Because when you do that, you're not in the here and the now, and you just can't move forward,
That's right. You just can't.
right?
And overthinking is the single biggest cause of unhappiness. If you keep yourself occupied, you keep your mind off things that don't help you, and you think positive, you are allowing yourself to be happy. On our pages that Deb and I have all over Facebook, we have previous recordings on these topics. We have
hmm
covered overthinking and we have covered decluttering, and they're funny. You would enjoy going back and looking at them. Facebook is funny in that when we post things now, only like 3% of our list ever gets to see them. So you may make a note that you want to go to the page that says Susan Lawton. You may want to go to personal, peaceful growth calendar page. You may
hmm
want to go to that other funny page. And there's one called Hug Fest 1, where we also post really fun and interesting things.
hmm
We've had lots of people ask us questions about anxiety. And this is just a quick review of helping you sort when you play things in your head what you're allowing to repeat.
hmm You know what's frightening to me about this anxiety? Not like all of these, but young children, being the teacher, I've been coming in contact with these young kids. There are more and more young children, I mean, under the age of 10, being diagnosed with anxiety disorders. It's really frightening, actually.
Well, it's frightening because people want to analyze. Okay, let's establish what's going on here. Let's organize it. Let's give it a definition. And then there'll be a prescription or there'll be a methodology that's figured out that we can address these issues. I think
hmm
people overanalyze. I think people spend too much time trying to establish blame or origin. That's just my opinion at my, wise old age here. So I just wanted to put these things out there for you guys. The one area we're going to talk about is post-traumatic stress. Stress of any kind is a
Yes.
repeat. If you put yourself back in a situation in which you felt bad, you're going to feel bad again. So
Right.
we have oils and we have suggestions on how to avoid repeating things that were not fun the first time. When you decide you're suffering from a panic disorder, shortness of breath, you have chest pain, you have a fear of going, you don't want to leave the house, panic attacks, you know, you make up things in your head. Do you see how the overthinking is showing up here and giving you anxiety?
Absolutely. Yeah, and you kind of just you're stuck in that moment if you keep reviewing what you're afraid of, what has caused it in the first place. So through the use of oils and more positive affirmations and things, you can relieve yourself of that panic disorder, I believe, right?
Well, yeah, because you can write over it. Write
Mm-hmm.
over it with conscious thought, conscious response to yourself. Like holding a grudge is letting someone live rent free in your head. This is kind of on the same type of thing. But people who make lists of reasons they're mad at other people, who make lists of reasons they can't go somewhere, they can't talk to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
that's part of causing your own internal stress. And when your body accepts that as that's normal for you, and you're letting people live in your head rent free, you're adding to your own stress. So you need to forgive others, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace. And you don't want to give them any more space in your head. So if
Right.
you're only thinking about your virtues, if you're only focused on your success, what happens
Mm-hmm.
inside of you, Deb?
There's a shift in your energy. There's a shift in your outlook, and um, you're going to have more strength to focus on what your individual goals are. If you hold on to this, you can't see. Like you can't see the beauty in others. You can't enjoy things. So the more that you forgive others and just release all those negative thoughts and feelings, you'll find a lot more peace inside. You're
Our friend.
yes.
You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. In every life we have some trouble. When you worry, you make it double. Don't worry, be happy.
We all remember that, right?
I just
Okay.
love it, and it makes you happy hearing it. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
So I want y'all to give yourselves a hug. The self hug is you take your two favorite oils, you put them in the palm of your right hand, and then
Mm-hmm.
you reach in and you rub your left shoulder. And while you're doing that, you love yourself enough to set boundaries. Your time and energy are precious. You get to choose how to use your time and your energy. You
Mm-hmm.
teach people how to treat you by deciding what you will and won't accept. And when you're doing the self hug, the part I love about the self hug is you can, when you're holding your left shoulder, you can delete all the extra people. Everyone who's trying to influence you, everyone who's tried to mark you, you can be relieved of that strictly by putting a few oils on your right hand. And your intention is for clarity. Your intention is to feel your feelings.
Right, because as you tell me, a lot of us acquire a lot of extra baggage on our shoulders that we need to get rid of, right?
Yes. Don't want to carry
Mm-hmm.
it around. It weighs you down.
It does.
Let's look at the happiness bubbles. Aren't these much more
Woo!
fun?
Yes.
Okay, the benefits of gratitude. So, People know that we like people to find 3 new things every day to be grateful for. And when you're grateful, you
Mhm.
are happy. That is just part of what happens. If you're having trouble finding words to be grateful, finding things to express your gratitude, try a little passion, little motivate. That will get you cooking. And if you
Mhm.
are having trouble noticing 3 new, I mean, one lady wrote to me and said, after 9 days of 3 new things a day, I'm having trouble. And I said, whoa, that's only 27 things you came up with. So there's got to be more things than that that you're grateful for. So she's trying a couple other oil blends, and frankincense definitely will help you notice
Mhm.
things that you can be grateful for.
What I like about this when I'm looking at this whole chart, it is covering every aspect of our life. So benefits of gratitude is going to bring happiness to look everything. Our health is going to improve, our emotional state seems better, social, our careers, it's just how one little thing can change so much of our lives is amazing.
Right. And you'll notice in these little bubbles, we have lots of virtues. And when you express about
Mm-hmm.
yourself and you say, I am grateful that I was kind to that stranger today.
Mm-hmm.
I am grateful that I had more energy today. I am kinder on social media. I don't look for things to be critical of. And you could say, I am less cranky about the politics because I'm just praying for everybody. When you
Mm-hmm.
decide you are grateful, and again, we have oil suggestions right here. The oils help you write even on your oldest cells that want to be critical of you. This lifts critical so that you can see underneath your layers of criticism the goodness that's you, and that should make you happy.
Sure. And you can see how the arrows go both ways. So each of those circles play off each other. And so you're going to see improvement in all the different aspects, just if there's just a change in one area, which I think is fantastic.
Right. And we're going to go through this in more detail as the month goes on about gratitude. But we wanted to give you kind of the idea of if you're in balance socially and you're in balance with your health, but you're kind of only doing mediocre performance in your career, or your personality has gotten dull because you're not excited about any of the people you're hanging around with. And that starts with you. If you're not excited about spending time with yourself, then you got to figure out what would make you more interesting to you.
And those might be areas that we want to create more positive affirmations for ourselves to improve those areas as well.
Yeah, because when you state it, your cells and all of your magnetism draws it to you. The greatest weapon against stress, remember we started with talking about stress and anxiety, is our ability
Mm-hmm.
to choose one thought over another. So we don't have to stay stuck on somebody said, you know, they didn't like your haircut, or somebody else said they didn't think your 2 shades of blue went together well today. It doesn't matter because you get to choose a different thought. You can remember the last time you had carrot cake and how much you enjoyed that icing. Num, 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 num. You can put yourself anywhere you want. And you can create things like I create and attract floods of joy, love, abundance, and well being in my life.
Mm-hmm.
When you say things like that, you become a magnet and your charisma is released. And joyful blend and cheer blend will help you with that. But the mere fact that you would say these things out loud is such a gift.
It certainly is. Just making those positive statements, bring those things into your life. And who doesn't want joy and love, abundance and well-being?
Well, not only that, but think in terms of floods. Don't think in terms of
Yes,
like one little nice thing happened today, but everything that happened one on top of another was great. I
of
got
course.
inspired to finish this last chapter of the book. I got information that helped me straighten out, passwords that were challenging, things that happen that are beneficial to you and those you work with.
Right. I think of it as the domino effect. When you push down that first one, the rest just keeps going.
Yes. And you can't pour from an empty cup. You could take care of yourself first. And I know other people, especially if you're part of the doTERRA gang, you are really good at helping other people. You're really good at anticipating needs. You're a great solution oriented thinking person. But if you don't take time for you, things will fizzle around you. It'll just sort of like be half. It's half energy, half whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so in other words, if you're not your full self, then you're not even presenting your full self to other people. You can't help them with all your energy and power either if you're not taking care of yourself first.
Right on.
Right? Is that what you're saying? Good. Okay.
The Guilt Away blend over here is famous. People love the Guilt Away because they
I
want to
think
say
most of
no.
us need that.
Beg your pardon?
I said most of us can use that.
Yes, write this down. It's Douglas fir, basil, and lavender. And what you do is, again, you put it in the right hand, the palm of the right hand. You rub it on your left shoulder and you hug yourself. And you say, it's good to say no because then other people have to get educated. It's good to say no and let other people figure out their own solutions. Setting boundaries is very healthy. You need to learn to respect and take care of you. I mean,
Very true.
the things Peggy Smith told me like 5 or 6 years ago now was you don't have to answer your phone every time it rings. You can let it go to voicemail unless it's like shows, state police or a hospital, as that's who's calling you. Then you probably want to answer it. Other than that, let it go to voicemail because unless whoever is calling is going to help you see the best attributes of you, they want a piece of you. Does that make sense?
Oh, sure. Learning to say no is probably one of the hardest things some of us, especially me, had to learn how to do. But what happens is when you can't say no, you overextend yourself. You become tired. You're cranky and crabby, and you're just trying to do so much that you're not even enjoying the moment. You're just not, you just can't wait to get home and crash at the end of a day. And so, it's so important to say no and learn to take some time for yourself.
Well, no,
Absolutely.
it takes the edge off of whatever good things you thought you were doing in the day because you just got too tired.
Absolutely. Yes, you're right.
Okay. And it's really okay to let other people figure things out for themselves. My experience has been sometimes if I wait a half hour, they have already moved on and I don't even have to call them back. It's all good.
That's great.
Okay. You can decide this. You can decide this. I am at a place in my life where peace is my priority and negativity is unable to exist. Okay? So, if that is your choice, you lose two things. When you're sitting within peace, it's impossible for you to be criticizing yourself or others. It's also impossible for you to take in someone else's negativity. And you're not being rude and you're not, doing anything wrong when you just don't respond. I mean, one of the great things about volunteering, and I always encourage people if they have, 2 hours every 2 weeks to go volunteer somewhere. One of the coolest thing I love about volunteering is I don't have to be in charge. I love it. For years, it didn't matter if I was in a classroom or an ER or a psych unit. It didn't matter where I worked. I always ended up being in charge. Did I look for that? No, it just happened. Now I love saying, I just love saying, I don't know. You'll have to ask my boss. And of course, after I work in a place for a little while, they're going like, "You don't have to say that." Well, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do because I'm just a volunteer, and it's
Hmm.
nice because I can come in. It's kind of like being the grandparents. Okay, play with the baby. When the baby poops the pants, you call the parents, and then when the baby's cranky, you call the parents. It's great. You delegate. Do you love that?
I love it.
Okay.
Oh,
So, peace begins when expectation ends. Besides
okay.
overthinking, we've talked in the past, Deb, about unexpressed expectations and how
Hmm.
when people have expectations, other people are going to disappoint you every time. You have to be
Yes.
very clear about what you want and how you want it. And when you are clear and basically you expect nothing unless you have had a discussion about it, you will never be
Mhm.
disappointed.
That's right. And you also told me that sometimes our expectations are so high for someone, they're not able to meet what we expect from them, that they're doing the best they can. So we're only going to find peace within ourselves when we accept that this is the best they can give us.
Right. It's the very best they can do. So you need to just let it be. But if you
Hmm.
keep expecting them to do things like in some relationships where you have kids and somebody falls and they have to go to the emergency room, one or the other of the parents may not be able to handle the sight of blood. That doesn't mean they love that kid any less. They're just not capable. So you give them another
Right.
job. You say, drive the car, I'll hold the towel. Everything is going to work out.
Hmm.
But you can't fuss at somebody who's not capable. It's not fair. Not fair to you because you're busy saying, "Hey, how come you didn't meet my expectations?" It's not fair to them to say, "I just every time I see blood, I pass out." How good is that?
Life is too short to tolerate things that don't make you happy.
Right?
Hmm.
So, if you have places and people that when you encounter them, whatever their habits or patterns are, somehow you end up on the short end. You don't
Okay.
ever come out on top. You don't ever feel satisfied. If you are always feeling left out, you need to make better decisions on how to spend your time. So, effective sorting. If you make up a blend of frankincense, helichrysum, and lemon, and you add a little fractionated coconut oil, and you wear it and say, "I'm paying attention to smooth paths. I'm trusting the universe to lead me to peaceful paths." You don't have to have a confrontation with anybody, right?
Right. But instead of staying in a situation that makes you unhappy or makes you uncomfortable, you can pick up and leave. Go to another room. If you're in a, I know this is a big thing around the holidays, Aunt so and so or Uncle so and so, they're dominating the whole discussion. You can't get a word in edgewise. Well, go find somebody else to talk to. Remove yourself from that situation, right?
Yeah. And I'm really big at parties where, you know, when I'm working with lots of people on a clinical level, I don't want to take a chance on picking up germs and passing them on to the people I might see later in the day. So I keep both hands full. I have water in one hand and papers in another. So it's really hard to engage in a long term hug or conversation because I can always say, "I'm sorry, I need to go over there." And you can move.
Hmm.
People don't know what's in your hand. You can move. You don't have to keep your hands empty.
That's a great idea.
And your self
Uh,
talk, you have to be able to hear yourself. You have to be receptive to positive input.
okay.
And this is a powerful blend, sandalwood, cypress, and juniper berry. And it goes on the bones behind your ears.
Mm-hmm.
And then you tell yourself,
Everything will work out.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
things
Things will
will
get better.
things will get better. You accept the fact that you are important.
You are worthy of great things. You are lovable.
And the time is now, not tomorrow, not next week, but now.
I love this one. This too shall pass, and it usually does.
Yes, one way or the other.
Yes.
You can be who you really are. I don't know who else to be. Everybody else is already taken. I'm just going to be me. The best is yet to come.
And remember that you are strong and you can do this.
Yes. And we believe what we tell ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have to really focus on being very clear that what
Mm-hmm.
you tell yourself is of value. So, no name calling. Don't say, oh, here we are again, stupid. No, 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 no. If you are talking to yourself, you're talking to yourself in the first person. You say, I am happy to be me. And you
Mm-hmm.
mean it. But when the dark side would like to distract you or help you feel bad, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to hear things like, boy, you were really dumb in that conversation. You're going to hear yourself in the third person. That's not you talking. When you're talking to yourself, you say I and me.
Mm-hmm.
Get it?
Got it.
So,
And we start doing this from early morning, right?
yeah,
These are things that we have to start as soon as we get up.
right on.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. And you are very valuable because you exist, not because of what you do or what you have, but simply because you are. Okay?
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's really important that you be good to yourself and that you find out what your superpower is. We're going to cover superpowers next week, but everybody
Yay!
has at least one superpower.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a simple thing. And when you feel discouraged or out of habit, you take in, like from family members or old friends, you take in negative by accident. You need to get out your superpower and squash the misinformation. You really need to just obliterate it immediately and write over it and say, listen, I don't care. I am happy to be me. They want me to be somebody else. I like being me, and they can just get over it.
Very true.
Okay. Now, here's just one of our pages from my calendar. I am happy being in the moment. And
Mm-hmm.
vetiver, rosemary, and wild orange are great to help you stay happy being in the moment. You need to practice positive sayings. I am content to have alone time.
Mm-hmm.
Really
And I'm
important.
happy. I'm happy with what I see.
Yes. And we're going to
I
help you with your superpowers next week.
okay. Do I need to get a cape?
Yes. Yes, I'm
Okay.
going to get some of them pointy shoes too. Okay. Joy.
I
I
was just gonna
am
say,
open to accepting abundance in all areas of my life. Put on
yay
a
for
plan,
joy.
grab your oils, make your clear statement, and you will be amazed at how you're allowing yourself to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You're the
And
only.
I think that's the important part, what you just said. We have to allow ourselves to be happy. And so many of us get caught up in that, like, poor me, the rosy robot thing. That we have a hard time. We
Yes.
don't see what's right in front of us. And sometimes, like, that old saying, like, life is passing us by and we're missing it. So allow ourselves to be happy and see what's there waiting for us.
Yes, right now, today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we have a bunch of stuff coming up. Deb and I have put together some amazing stuff for you, and we're going to be posting it on our pages. People
Right.
have asked us if we're going to do custom blends like we did last year. Yes, we're going to put that together. We already have created some essential oil intention candles made with the pure wax, not with anything that can hurt you. We're going to let you know how to get those. We're also created custom affirmations if you write and tell us what the occasion is. And we will confirm your virtues for you in a 10-minute conversation. We've also created holiday gift packages that will help you help yourself through the holidays. Watch for these on our Facebook pages, Susan Lawton, Personal Peaceful Growth Calendar, and Hugfest 1. And we'd like to thank you for joining us. And I want everyone to say, I am happy to be me.
I am happy to be me. Yay! Thank you so much, Sue. This was just wonderful. What a great way to head into a weekend.
Yes, 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 yes. And it's very important this weekend that you watch out for little kids. And every parking lot you go to, please, please remember that they have, what do they call those, trunky trays?
Yeah.
Where they're doing Halloween. So please, even if you don't have any kids the right age anymore, please watch carefully for little ones running across the street, even in broad daylight in their costumes. And everybody have fun. And we have more fun for you next week. We're going to do my superpower.
Yay!
And I am happy to be me.
Sure am. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a wonderful weekend.
You guys too. Bye.
Bye.